Richician.
Hey YouTube, Richician84 here, and welcome, excuse me, to my first video of 2024, which is the first Q&A episode of the year. There's a lot more questions than last week, so let's just dive in and kick this off. So the first 5 questions are from Sparkman, who has left some trivia about Sonic the Hedgehog. Did you know there is a protein that was named after Sonic the Hedgehog? No, I didn't know that actually. Unless it's something Billsy may have shown me. I don't know. Did you also know that there were 2 Sonic the Hedgehog comics back in the day? The American Archie comics and the British Fleetway comics. Yes, I was aware of this. Obviously, I've talked about Sonic the comic in another video, and I'm aware of the American version. Anyway, as for the actual questions, 1. You're stuck on a desert island. Which Yu-Gi-Oh character would you like to be stuck with? Yugi. That's the easy answer. 2. What are your desert island video games? Games you wouldn't mind having with you to pass the time while you wait to be rescued. You may choose up to 5. I'm assuming this can be any video game, not anything about a desert island. Well, I would have to choose Sonic Adventure, Halo, Halo 2, the Resident Evil 2 remake, and the other one's a tough one. Robot Wars, Arenas of Destruction. I know it's not a very popular video game and could be glitchy as fuck, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. 3. What are your thoughts on New Year's resolutions, and do you have any? Yeah, I guess New Year's resolutions are always good. I don't usually have any resolutions though, because I feel like whenever I'd make one, they don't work out. So there isn't really much point in me making them, to be honest. Although, if I was to have just one resolution, just one, right now, it would be to try to marry the love of my life this year.
Yeah, well, we've got to make it happen.
Yeah.
It's getting closer though, might be sooner than you think.
Yeah, hopefully. Touch wood. 4. Have you ever been into wrestling, WWE and whatnot? Yes and no. I've never watched wrestling, but there were a couple of video games that I did like, one of which being WWF Attitude, back when it was called WWF. I played it on the PlayStation with my brother and a couple of friends of ours, and I enjoyed it, and then I found out it was on the Dreamcast, so I wanted that, and yeah, it received a poor review in the unofficial Dreamcast magazine. I think it got 41%, but I still enjoyed it. And then, of course, there was WWF Royal Rumble, which I was very addicted to back in the day. I enjoyed playing as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself, just because he seemed really cool, and I loved the theme song. Yeah, it was fun. Sometimes I'd go with Stone Cold Steve Austin as well. And 5. What's your favourite thing about Sword Soul? Well, considering it's a deck that I absolutely hate, you don't seriously expect me to answer that, do you? One nice thing I will say about Sword Soul, though, is the artwork. I mean, the artwork is just incredible. Like, whether it's on a card that I hate, don't care much about, uh, or some that I really like, or some of my favourites, there's always some really, really nice artwork on the cards. Can't say anything bad about that. Next two questions are from Matt and Alison Welch. 1. Each protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh! Has their own catchphrase. Yugi has, "It's time to duel." Jaden has, "Get your game on." Yusei has, "Let's rev it up." Yuma has, "Feeling the flow." Yuya has, "Let's swing into action." And Yusuku has, "Link into the brains." If you had your own catchphrase for dueling, what would it be? Mine is, "Let's hit the field." This question already came up before, and the answer to that question is, "Let's kick it off." It's something I came up with a while ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but I wanted a catchphrase of my own as well. Something unique, and "Let's kick it off" really just spoke to me. Sure, I don't use it in all my duel videos. I really should, to be fair. But it's been used a lot in my Q&As. So yeah, that answers that question. 2. If Yu-Gi-Oh! Did a crossover with another non-Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, which of these anime games do you see it? I'd also include Pokemon, but that's already similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! In many ways, so I'm not including that. I don't know. There's not a lot of animes that I'm familiar with, I'm really interested in, to be honest. Although Death Note was enjoyable, but I would say that, but the thing is, Death Note is more for a mature audience, whereas, well, Yu-Gi-Oh's more aimed for kids, despite the dark stuff in, you know, the Japanese version, which the dub had to censor. Um, as, yeah, they don't hold anything back. Um, well, not a lot anyway. I really don't know. Um, there's nothing I can really think of. I've literally seen no other animes. I saw a bit of one episode of Digimon, but that's it. But I'm not very knowledgeable of it. Pokemon I've seen bits of, but again, that's something I just couldn't get into. Um, Also, I didn't know there was a Legend of Zelda anime. Um, Inuyasha, I think I might have seen before, if it's the one I'm thinking of. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the one with the guy with long white hair and cat ears? Or is that something else? But I don't even know. Um, Shaman King's actually one I've seen some of, which looks kind of cool, but I didn't watch it all of the episodes, of course. I've also seen some of Naruto. It's a tough one. I suppose I would like to see it cross over with either Naruto or Shaman King, even though they were animes that I couldn't really get into, or just didn't bother getting into. Um, Next questions are from Starlight William Magician. Hope you had a good Christmas. Yes, I did, thank you. Hope you did too. 1. I see you've used one of my questions. If you had a clone, would you play different matchups with your decks? Oh, absolutely. Even though the matchup with my 5 decks have kind of been done, but yeah, I'd do that. Have me and the clone do some cross-ban list duels, character duels. Just have more frequent dueling content up for you guys. 2. Do you like the new Dark Magician structure deck? Well, I guess. I mean, I'd care a lot more about it if it was a TCG product and actually had new support. Why there weren't any new cards is beyond me, but not that it matters since it's like an Asian English product. Yeah, it is cool for what it is, though. I don't know if it's something that makes me say, "Oh my god, I must have this." You know? 3. What made you like the Dark Magician? Well, I already did a full video explaining the story behind this a while ago. It'll be titled "How Dark Magician Became My Favourite Card." So I will go and find that and watch that, or I could link it to you. But it was just more the fact that, well, it belonged. It's Yugi's ace monster, Yugi being the main protagonist, which and Dark Magician was played many times, and I was very jealous that my brother had it in his deck, because he got the Yugi starter deck for his birthday back in 2003, and then just later on I grew more to like Dark Magician and wished I had him myself, and eventually I got Dark Magician, and I've been playing him in a deck for the last 20 years actually, hence why Dark Majanuary is going to be a special one this year. 4. What was your first deck? It was a random deck. I think the same can be said for everyone, or at least old school duelists like myself. But yeah, it was a mixture of random cards. In fact, Robotic Knight was actually the strongest monster in my deck, funnily enough. But that was fine because, well, me and my brother both had random decks which didn't have big beefy boss monsters. But Robotic Knight was my strongest monster, and ironically, that used to be my favourite card before Dark Magician. But Robotic Knight still does kind of hold a special place for me. I believe it is one of my top 10 favourite machine type monsters. I've still got it to this day. I just can't remember if it's in my favourites binder or a binder of old cards and cards that people gave to me as a gift. And the last question is from Webbers5. First of all, Happy New Year. Hope you had a good Christmas. Thanks, I did. Hope you did too. And it's just one question. I finished my new Blackwing variant, thinking about testing them tomorrow in tomorrow's event at DU/casually. If not enough people show up, are you down? I don't know about coming out tomorrow, to be honest. Because obviously, unfortunately, Emma will be going home tomorrow. Sad times. And then after that, I probably won't really want to do much. I mean, I've got one idea for something to do, but I don't think I'd be up for going out anywhere to, whether it's to DU or TTR. Of course, I would be more than happy to play against your Blackwings some other time, like whether it's online or at a future visit to DU, like if you wanted to play it casually or maybe in an event, I don't know. Not that I'm really keen on tournaments at the moment, but I'd still be happy to play against your Blackwings sometime. Although the other thing is, you might have noticed that I've not really been coming down to DU recently, except that one evening where I had to give you the Blackwing deck. But yeah, this is something I did explain in another video, but I don't think everyone knows this. But yeah, I basically stopped going there for a number of reasons. One of which I'm still not sure I can really say, at least not on here. But let's just say some of our friends aren't able to go there anymore. You might know what I'm talking about, but that's all I'm willing to say on here. The other reasons... Whoops, there goes my microphone. The other reasons are, well, 4 people have annoyed me. Don't worry, you're not one of them. We're cool, we're all good, don't you worry. But no, it's 4 other people that have just annoyed me in various ways. One of the Digimon players kept trying to get me to play Digimon even though I said no multiple times. Mind you, that hasn't happened for a few months now, but still, it was just annoying. And then 3 of the other Yu-Gi-Oh players just really annoyed me, one of which complained about my Dark Magician and Rainbow Neos decks, and maybe my Elemental Heroes for what felt like no good reason. Not to mention, I feel like it was kind of cocky in one game. It was just infuriating. Plus, it was kind of interesting how he complained about those decks, yet he was playing Mutants, Dark World, and Trap Tricks, all of which are bullshit toxic decks that just don't let anyone play the game. Meanwhile, Dark Magician, Elemental Heroes and Rainbow Neos did nothing wrong! I'm fed up of the hate for those decks. And as for the other 2, well, it was just annoying that they weren't paying attention in games in various ways. Whether they were seeming more interested in what other people were doing, starting conversations and asking questions that had nothing to do with what we were doing, and just talking to other people. And it's like, I'm right here trying to have a game with you guys. And then one of those 2 kept trying to play me with decks that I really don't like playing against, mainly your Senjus. The other one would occasionally try to cheat by playing banned cards. He wouldn't shut up about Borrowload Savage Dragon, he doesn't listen to advice, and he makes trading awkward. Yeah, you probably might know who I'm talking about, but I am not going to name any names, of course. But yeah, I just lost my patience with them, and that kind of made me not want to come there anymore. Maybe I'll make an exception sometimes, but we'll see. Anyway, that is it for questions in this episode. Thanks a lot for your guys' questions. If you've got any other questions you want to ask me, post them in the comments down below. And remember, I do these episodes every Tuesday afternoon or evening, UK time, so be sure to get your questions in before then so that you don't miss out. Thanks again, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.